Hey guys, welcome to the 56th C programming tutorial, and in this tutorial we're going to be looking at a new string function. And the string function that we're going to be looking at is called strtok, which stands for string token. And this function will basically just allow us to split a string up into smaller strings. So let's just go ahead right here and say that we had a character array called sentence. So I'm going to say character array sentence, and I'll just set it equal to Adam is really cool. Alright, and make sure that this is a character array right here and not a character pointer. If this is a character pointer, then your application is going to crash if you try and use string token, and I'll explain why later. But for right now, just make sure that this is a character array and not a character pointer. Alright, so let's just say that we wanted to get the first word inside of this string right here. So we wanted to get Adam in this string. Well, what we can go ahead and do is just use the string token function. So we can say strtok, and the first parameter is just the string that we want to split up, and we want to split up this sentence string right here. So I'm going to say sentence, and then the second parameter is just the character that you want to split at, or characters that you want to split at, and we want to split at the space and the period character. So I'm just going to say space and period. Alright, so basically what this function is going to do is it's going to start at the first character inside of this string. So it's going to look at the A and say, is A part of this character set? No, it's not. Is the D? No. Is the A? No. Is the M? No. Is the space? Yes, it is. So what it's going to do is just going to go back here and return the address of this character right here. So we can just go ahead right here and say car word equals, and then whatever this function returns. And this function is just going to return the address of this A right here. So if I just go ahead and print out onto the screen this word right here, I should just get Adam. So I say %s end the line and word and run this, and perfect, I get Adam. Alright, but let's say that I wanted to get the second word inside of this sentence. Well, it's a lot easier than you might think. All that I can do is just say car second word equals strtok, and I can just pass through null, and then the second parameter I'll just make the same, and again that's just going to be the characters that we want to split at, and we want to split at the space and the period. But back to why I'm passing through null as the first parameter. So on string token, whenever you pass through null as the first parameter, basically what it's going to do is it's just going to pick up where it previously left off. So it previously left off at this I right here in this string. So instead of going all the way back to the beginning of this string, it's just going to start where it left off, which is at this I. So it's going to say, is this I part of this character set? No. Is the S? No. Is the space? Yes, it is. So it's just going to go ahead and return the address of this I right here. So second word is equal to the address of this I. So if we go ahead and say printf %s for string and the line, and we print out second word and run this, we should get is. So on one line we should have Adam, which is the first word in the string, and then on the second line we should have is. So I run this and I get Adam is. Perfect. Alright, so let me just go ahead and delete this. Alright, so let's say we're to go right here and make the character set made up of characters that are not inside of this string. So let's say I made it X and Z. Alright, well as you can see, neither X or Z is inside of the string right here. So you may think that this is going to return null, but it's not. It's going to return this entire string. It's going to start at this A and go all the way down to this period and see that neither X nor Z are inside of this string. So what it's going to do is just going to return this entire string right here. So now word is just equal to the address of Adam. So essentially sentence and word are the exact same thing right now. So I run this and I should just get Adam is really cool onto the screen. Yep, perfect. So I just get the entire string out onto the screen because it never found these characters inside of this string right here. But now if I were to make another call and make the first parameter null, I am going to get null this time. So if I say car star second word, again, instead of equal to string token, make the first parameter null so that it'll pick up where it left off previously, and then again I'll just make the character set x and z. Now what it's going to do is it's going to pick up where it left off, and it left off after this period right here. So the only character left inside of this string that it has to look at is the null terminating character. So since the null terminating character is the only character left, this is just going to return null right here. So we're going to say if second word is null, then we just want to go ahead and print out onto the screen a smiley face. So we'll just say smiley face and end the line. Alright, so again, out onto our screen we're going to get this entire string. Since it didn't find x or z inside of this string right here, so just return the entire string. And then the second time that we call this, it's going to return null because it previously left off at the null terminating character inside of this string, so it has no more characters to return, so it just returns null. Alright, so I run this and I should get the entire string followed by a smiley face. Perfect. Alright. Now let's say that I wanted to print out onto the screen all of the words inside of this string. Well, it's pretty easy. I can just go ahead and loop through it. So first, let me just go ahead and change this back to space and period so that we're actually splitting in between words right here. And then I want my loop to run while word doesn't equal null. So as long as this function is returning characters, so as long as this function has found another word in the string, we want it to keep looping. And then we want it to just simply print out the word that it found. So we're going to say printf %s, end the line, and then we just want to go ahead and print out word. Alright, and then we just want to go ahead and after we print out the word that it found, we want it to go ahead and find the next word inside of the string. So we're going to say word equals string token, and then we want it to pick up where it previously left off, so we're just going to pass through null as the first parameter, and then the second parameter is of course just going to be our character set. Alright, so basically what this is going to do right here is it's just going to start at the beginning of the string. Is A part of the character set? No. Is D? No. Is A? No. Is M? No. And then it's going to find this space. The space is part of the character set, so it's going to stop right there and return the address of A. So right here, word equals the address of this A right here. Is the address of A null? No, it's not, so it's going to go ahead and print out Adam onto the screen. Then it's going to pick up where it previously left off, so it's going to start looking at this I. Is I part of the character set? No. Is S? No. Is space? Yes, it is. So it's going to stop right there and return the address of this I. So now word is equal to the address of this I right here. Is the address of this I equal to null? No, it's not. So it's just going to keep looping and looping until it gets to this C right here. Is C part of this character set? No, it's not. Is O? No. Is O? No. Is L? No. Is period? Yes, it is. Period is part of this character set, so it's going to stop right there and return the address of this C. Is the address of the C equal to null? No, it's not, so it's going to print out cool onto the screen without the period, because remember, we're splitting at this, so it doesn't include this period as well. Then what it's going to do is it's going to pick up where it previously left off, and it previously left off after this period. So the only character left inside of the string is the null terminating character. And since the only character left is the null terminating character, this is just going to return null. So word is equal to null. Then it's going to come back up here and break out of the while loop because word does in fact equal null. So then we should just get out onto our screen all of the words inside of this string right here. So I run this and it works perfectly. Now let me just go ahead and give you an idea of what's going on behind the scenes in memory, because so far I've sort of misled you. Alright, so the first thing that string token does is it starts looking at this A. Is A part of this character set? No. Is D? No. Is A? No. Is M? No. Is space? Yes, space is part of the character set. So what it's going to do is it's going to replace the space inside of this string with a null terminating character. And then it's going to return the address of this A. So now word just stores the address of this A right here. So now whenever we go to print out word onto the screen, it's going to print out the A, the D, the A, the M, and then it's going to hit the null terminating character and stop. That's why whenever we go ahead and print out word onto the screen, we only get the word that it found and not the rest of the entire string with it. And that's because it just puts the null terminating character right here. Alright? And then the next time that we call it, we pass through null as the first parameter, so it just picks up where it previously left off, which is at this I right here. So is this I part of the character set? No. Is S? No. Is space? Yes. So it just replaces this with a null terminating character and returns the address of I. So now word points to I. Now it just goes ahead and prints out is onto the screen, so it prints out the I, the S, hits the null terminating character, and it stops. So we only get is onto the screen. Then we just call string token again, and we just pass through null as the first parameter, so it just picks up where it previously left off. Is R part of the character set? No. Is E? No. Is A? No. Is L? No. Is L? No. Is Y? No. Is space? Yes, it is. So it just goes ahead and replaces this space with a null terminating character, and then returns the address of R. So now word just points to R right here. Then it just picks up where it previously left off at this C. Is C part of the character set? No. Is O? No. Is O? No. Is L? No. Is period? Yes, it is. So it just goes ahead and replaces this period with the null terminating character, and then just returns the address of C, so word just points to C. Again, we print out cool onto the screen, so it just prints out the C, the O, the L, and then it hits the null terminating character and stops. So we only get cool onto the screen. Then finally, the last time that we call string token, it picks up where it previously left off, which is at this null terminating character right here. And it reads this character and sees that this character is the null terminating character, which means that it's the end of the string. So the string token function just returns null. So now word is just equal to null. And then it just goes back up to do our while loop and breaks out of it. So if I were to go back into my program right here, and after this is all said and done, print out sentence, all that I'm going to get onto my screen is Adam, because it replaced this space with a null terminating character. So it's going to read this A, the D, the A, and the M, and then it's going to hit the null terminating character, which was previously a space, and it's just going to stop. So we're only going to get Adam out onto the screen. So I'm just going to go ahead and comment this out, and then go ahead and print out onto my screen sentence. So I'm going to say %s, since it's a string, and the line, I'm just going to print out sentence onto the screen. Alright, so again, when I run this, all I'm going to get is Adam, because there's a null terminating character after the M thanks to string token. So I run this and I get Adam. Perfect. Alright, and you're probably wondering why we had to use a character array instead of a character pointer. Well, whenever we create a string as a character array, it's read and writable memory. So we have permission to read and write to this string. So we can read memory from this location or overwrite characters with something else. However, if we were to declare it as a character pointer, like this, then we only have read access to this string right here, which is a huge problem because string token needs to be able to overwrite characters inside of our string. So if I were to go ahead and run this right now as it is, our program is going to crash because whenever it tries to overwrite this space with the null terminating character and string token, it's just going to crash because it doesn't have permission to overwrite this character. So I run this and it crashes, and again that's because I made this a character pointer instead of a character array, which made this read only, and we need to be able to write to it because of string token, so therefore our application crashed. Alright, so that's pretty much it for this tutorial, so see you guys.